Hi, everybody. Here we go. 12 minutes and 40 seconds, Benoît.
All right.
Jennifer laughs. This part of the agenda today is called Afternoon Reflections. So let's lean into that for a second. First to Jennifer and team, what an unbelievable job today. So thank you for putting this together. Really good. Really good on every level. Really appreciate this. Really appreciate the hospitality for a couple of Alberta guys and a bunch of other Westerners that are here. I have to say it, I'm wearing 4 shades of blue at least. So let's get a win tomorrow night in the game, right? That's important. No one's said that yet today. Right. Yes. And 2 Alberta guys wearing ties. No one else has. The world, what a wonderful world we're in, right? Fire away.
Great. Well, thank you, everybody. Seems like the crowd has thinned a bit, but you know, we saved the best for last, and we're happy to be on the panel tonight. So good afternoon. My name is Ben Gagné. I'm the Senior Vice President for ATCO'S Structures in Canada. We're a manufacturer of modular buildings. So we're not precast, we're not timber, we are not steel. We are very much married to wood frame modular construction, volumetric as we've referred to it today. And we've been doing it for 75 years. So it's not new to us. It's very much something that is ingrained in our DNA at ATCO. And ATCO, you know, the acronym there is Alberta Trailer Company. So this is very much part of our roots. You know, if we were to rename that today, it might have been Alberta Modular Company because the vernacular has changed over the time. But we're very much happy to be here today. We haven't been around as long as Kalashnikov, but I'll say we've been doing modular in Canada and globally probably longer than anybody else has. So we're really proud of that. And we've taken what we've incubated here in Alberta, in Canada, and really taken that model across the globe. So we have 11 factories across the globe, 5 in Calgary, 5 in Canada. So very happy about that as well.
And yes, officially Ben went off script. Well done. And I'm Jaydan, Tait, President and CEO of Attainable Homes Calgary, a City of Calgary owned affordable home developer and operator. So in a way, I am a public servant. If you're going to think about a rebranding for ATCO, given what we do now, you could reference Attainable Homes Calgary as Automatic Homes Calgary.
There we go.
That's something we've been toying with, the idea of automation, mass production, industrialization, making this happen in a way that we haven't been able to heretofore. We are thrilled to close out the session today with a big dose of continued optimism. We've spent the day, yes, very optimistic today. Been really, really happy about how positive this has been. We've spent the day hearing about the many challenges facing modular construction, permitting process grind, financing gaps, regulatory inconsistencies, and more. These are real issues and they deserve serious attention. But we're going to focus on a couple of things that are a little different than that: built positive outcomes.
So we're here to tell you that modular construction is not a new age concept or a fad. It's a proven solution. So a solution that we at ATCO have been honing since 1947. And we're very elated to finally see that modular construction is being recognized as a legitimate build form in Canada. And I think it was Fred here a while ago from PwC that said, 6 years ago, he just told people to be patient. Well, we've been patient since 1947, so we're very much happy to be here today. And what we'll be discussing today is really walking you through 2 real-world projects that are currently undergoing construction right now, one in Calgary, one here in Toronto. And Jaydan will also give you a preview of what he's working on next.
Yep. So our first success story comes from downtown Calgary, where Attainable Homes Calgary and ATCO partnered to deliver an 84-unit affordable rental apartment, as you saw on the previous slide. The 6-story building was fully modular factory built, comprised 56 units, wood frame modules assembled on site, targeted at modest income working Calgarians. Here are the 3 keys to success. Number 1, land and approvals. Built on a small inner city site under 11,000 square feet, so a quarter of an acre. This is a tight site. Land use redesignation or rezoning was achieved in 5 months, about as quickly as it can be done given how that process works. We relentlessly reference specific actions in the City of Calgary's September 23 approved housing strategy, which calls for all housing uses to be permitted or as of right. This means should development applications conform to land use bylaw rules, sorry to get nerdy, they must be approved with permits issued as per provincial law in the Municipal Government Act. The automatic yes residential use at this site was codified through a site-specific direct control district with clear permitted use rules. Then, with this level of zoning certainty obtained, the DP was approved and issued in 3 months from application. We will go from a zoning application on May 22nd last year to occupancy in December 19th of this year, 19 months. Yes, we can do it. Application for zoning, full public hearing, approval by council, unanimous approval in a 4-minute public hearing, DP, BP, DSSP, construction, move-in, occupancy, 19 months. We could do it everywhere in this country. As of right approvals is the key to unlocking mass production of affordable housing and is the only way AHC could ever solidify our spot on your production line. Ironically, all we are doing is ensuring we get the same rights to build that are already enjoyed by every single family housing builder across Canada. Equal rights to build multifamily would be a huge start and is a necessary start in solving the massive affordable housing supply shortfall in our country. Okay, number 2, the financing model. The capital stack combines public and private sources of financing supports. City of Calgary provided a grant equivalent to 25% of project costs, big deal. The remainder was financed via construction loan with ATB, Alberta Treasury Branch, financial, underwritten through a CMHC's MLI Select. So the top project there, that's an MLI Select deal. All-in project costs are 21.5 mil. All in, land, hard, soft, financing, everything. 256K a door. There's no parkade, that helps. Thirdly, cost and efficiency. Lean manufacturing principles avoided cost overruns. Upfront design integration with ATCO meant no late surprises. Overall cost per square foot is about $370 a foot, including soft costs. Rents will be below $1,050 a month for all units. That's affordable for people that we target earning around $42,000 a year, meaning they don't spend more than about 30% of their income on the shelter. Good job.
So the story here extends beyond the manufacturing process. This is really a textbook approach to leverage the strengths of the modular manufacturer into the overall delivery of the project. And what I mean by this is that Jaydan, from the outset, sought to integrate us into the program in a true progressive design build format. Now that can't be underscored enough, and I think we've had a lot of people here today say the same thing. We all understand the virtues of modular construction, but what is less recognized is the significance of moving away from a conventional project delivery model for what is or what has been a non-conventional build method. Owners simply cannot harness the true value of this build form without early engagement and collaboration, which is not always obvious under a typical design build model. So an example of how this works in practice, Jaydan provides his vision of the project with us as the builder, and we in turn develop internally the design and the solution based on parameters that fit our manufacturing model. We then create the conditions for the consultant team to refine further. In essence, the consultant team works within our model and not the other way around.
Yep.
Often we have seen that when this is led in a conventional owner-consultant manner, it can introduce redesign efforts downstream which are very costly, timely, and sometimes very prohibitive to pivot away from.
You're still going.
So I'm still going. So we're going to shift now from the west to the east. So not too far from here, we have a project that we are delivering in York. And what this is a 175 Cummer Avenue project that we're building for the city of Toronto, which will be operated by Wood Green here. So that should be operational in the spring of 2026. And what I will offer as part of this project, and similarly with the one for Jaydan, is that we at ATCO, we offer also not only the manufacturing scope of the project, which is a lot that we're talking about here today, but also the general construction services that come with managing a project. Now, we've done this in British Columbia, we've done this in Alberta, we're also doing it here in Ontario. And we lean on a very lengthy experience as a full-service contractor in the industrial sector to be able to deliver the added service to our clients. This has been the case on the Carmer Avenue project. And the one important highlight, this is important to highlight for a few reasons. One is that being the general contractor on the project gives the owner 1 point of control for the project, a direct line of accountability with an entity responsible not only for the manufacturing portion, but also the site portion, which equally represent about 50% of your project value. So the question to ask yourself as an owner is, how do you get comfortable with a subcontractor that represents 50% of your project if they're not at the table with you every step of the way? And we would submit that you want them at the table with you every step of the way. Now, there are many instances where the owner contracts with a general contractor who will in turn contract with the manufacturer. This happens very frequently. In these instances, there is an inherent risk with multiple layers involved, and the heightened requirement for a clear scope alignment between the parties is ultra critical, so disputes and change orders can be avoided. Second is payment terms, which we've heard a lot about the financing aspect of that today, can generally be more favorable for the owner when a manufacturer is heading the entire program delivery. Typically under a supply-only model, the manufacturers will require payment in full before the units are delivered to site. With the manufacturer, as a general contractor, payments can somewhat be more flexible. And from what we heard here today, it sounds like BCH will solve some of that for the industry, so great. An example of one of the nuances to consider on a supply-only model is the warranty period. Things go sideways sometimes, whereby the manufacturer can take the position that it commences when the units are completed ex-factory, and this is a very important distinction. As the manufacturer, in essence, does not have care, custody, or control of the building once it leaves the factory. The opposite, therefore, is when the manufacturer, as the general contractor, has full accountability over the project. They have no issue extending what is a typical standard warranty from the substantial completion date of the project. Third, generally speaking, the risks in a project are very much more elevated on the site delivery component versus the manufacturing component. So being involved from cradle to grave on the project, we can easily balance that risk holistically over the entire project, which again converts to added value to the client.
All right, let's go to the next slide there, if you don't mind, Ben. All right, here is the proof of replicability and our next project on the horizon, a AHC and ATCO jam. Teresa alluded to this earlier and the timing related to approval of a project like this. Attainable Homes Calgary submitted a development permit application for this 198-unit affordable apartment building in the heart of the Kensington neighborhood. Yes, we have a Kensington too in Calgary. Basically, center ice urban Calgary. We submitted this application about 4 weeks ago. We are already through first comments and are proving conformity to the land use bylaw. We should have approval in 3 weeks. It's a couple of months as per MGA, which is quite something. The city is providing land, rolling it in at zero cost. Massive when you talk about the burden of financing projects like this. Projected rents are about $1,200 for a 1-bed and about $1,400 for 2 beds. The project is engineered to meet NECB Tier 2 energy performance with about a 25.6% energy savings. With CMLC ACLP, which we're trying for here, as a modular carve-out, we heard of that $500 million modular carve-out within ACLP, or a new Build Canada Homes equivalent, if anyone's listening, whatever that looks like, we can start production with that certainty of approvals and an idea of line of sight on financing in May of 2026. We will be on the line in ATCO building this next May. By the time we're built, the site, shipped, stacked, etc., we could have occupancy of this site as early as December next year, just like we showed in our downtown project. A lot of things need to happen, but this is what we're on target to do. We can build up to 2 modules a day, about 250 working days a year. So our plan at AHC is to get to a perpetual production stream of 500 unique individual units in the modules per year. We then use our knowledge of process and support, very key, support from the elected and administrative leaders, like Teresa talked about, to get the land, the permits, and the sites ready for the delivery of those modules.
We're here today. We've also all heard and read the headlines as to the known knowns of modular construction and the tremendous gains that can be made here in Canada by leveraging this form of construction into our build vernacular. But what is less obvious and not widely spoken about, and key to consider as a takeaway if you're contemplating a modular construction project, are, we've heard it here today a few times, early engagement with your manufacturer so you can really play to their strengths and unlock the true potential of the modular build form. Not every modular builder is built equal, so it's very important to make sure that you're not going too far down the path, and again, very difficult to pivot if you have to work within a certain framework. Second is buck the convention of the design build and opt for more collaborative, progressive design build format or something similar. Thirdly is decide on whether you want the manufacturer to simply supply you with a kit of parts, which we're all happy to do, for someone else to install on site, or if you want them to carry full accountability over the entire project life cycle of the project execution.
So, quick aside here, this is a collage of images related to the product that we just built and have shipped to site. That is a picture of one of the finished 84 studio units. Your specification is only limited by your budget, your imagination, and the size of your lanes to get the module shipped to site. Keep that in mind. We had a budget in mind, that drove the spec. We are very proud of the finishing in these projects. They're all the exact same, 365 square foot studios, rented in downtown Calgary, sub $1,100 a month. Pretty good. And then you can see the final module being stacked onto site in the bottom right picture. And again, 18-month build. All right, here we are, the concluding part of the presentation. And Ben, we're only 4.5 minutes over. That's not bad. Okay. Let us all never forget what we do here. This is always about people. We spent a lot of time today talking about modular challenges, prefabrication, bonding, all the stuff. This is about people. It's about housing people. That drives us in everything we do at Attainable Homes Calgary. Every day, driven to house people. We recently housed a gentleman who manages a McDonald's. This guy works harder than any of us in this room. Harder than any of us in this room doing what he does. Here we are in Toronto, having a great time in this unbelievable facility. And this guy's making close to minimum wage, schlepping burgers, working hard. We gave him a housing option just down the street from where he works. He can walk to work, and he makes probably $40,000, $45,000 a year. That's why we do this. He can't get a credit card. But because he had a job, we gave him a place to live. Never lose focus on the fact we're housing people. And that's the driver for these conversations and overcoming these challenges to get this housing built. So, the successes of the Calgary-Toronto projects prove that modular construction is not only feasible, it excels when applied under the right conditions. By tackling land, money, and approvals up front and leveraging off-site manufacturing, these teams delivered homes in record time. Modular construction techniques can produce high-quality, sustainable buildings that meet community needs while being affordable in perpetuity. After a day of hearing why it's complicated to build modular, we end by asserting it can be done, it was done, and we will do more by decomplicating the layers of risk that make this hard to do. It need not be this hard. Modular construction works, and now we have the Canadian proof points to back them up. So let's take these success stories and replicate them nationwide, making modular construction a key part of the solution to Canada's housing challenges. The factories are ready, the designs are ready, and with your leadership and our continued working on this together, the land, permits, and financing deals will be ready. Let's deliver on our collective goal and my personal dream of a dignified place every Canadian can call home. Thanks. Good job.